standing here with Kaz at the Sony pool party here at the Viceroy.
Good to be here.
How is E3 treating you this year?
Well, I think we had a lot of exciting announcements yesterday at the E3 press conference, and very pumped up with the fact that we're being very successful on all three platforms. PS2 is doing great for us, PSP obviously, and some great announcements on the PS3 as well. So very pumped up and excited.
So which announcement do you think is the most significant one that you made?
Wow, I mean, we had so many announcements. It's really hard to single out one particular announcement. But I think the most exciting thing is the fact that, we talked about, the PlayStation 3 being first and foremost a video game console. And to back that up, we obviously need to have a lot of great software for the PS3 in terms of the gaming area. And, I think we, yesterday at the press conference talked about a lot of great titles that have already launched for the PlayStation 3, like the Gran Turismo 5 Prologue, Metal Gear Solid 4. And then going forward, starting with Little Big Planet and Resistance 2, MotorStorm Pacific Rift, SOCOM, and then, into next year with Killzone 2 and MAG. Just a great lineup of titles that we have.
And the one you didn't mention, God of War 3.
Absolutely, God of War 3. I forgot to mention that. That's another great, exciting title that got a lot of good reaction from the people at the press conference. Absolutely.
So the big titles this fall for you guys, Resistance 2 and Little Big Planet. Very different titles, appealing to very different markets. Mm-hmm. Do you feel that is something that Sony is good at reaching these different markets?
Well, I think PlayStation has always been synonymous with making sure that we have great software lineup for all types of consumers and fans of the PlayStation platform, and certainly we want to make sure that we bring a variety of experiences for the PlayStation 3 as well. And you're absolutely right. Little Big Planet is a great social and family kind of oriented game. On the other hand, we have titles like Resistance 2 that are really geared more towards the core gaming fans. So very excited with the lineup that we have.
And in Europe, you've been very, very successful with SingStar and Buzz. And why do you think that has struggled a little bit to translate into the U.S. market?
Well, I think that the fact that with SingStar and with Buzz, it's a software that really requires a lot of trial by the consumers. So we try to make sure that we get out to the retailers and so that the consumers can actually try these titles at retail. But I think given the real excitement and the fun factor in both those titles, that ultimately I think it will resonate in a big way with the not the Japanese consumers but also the U.S. consumers as well.
Maybe they're next.
Oh, absolutely.
So the PSP has been doing very well in Japan lately, and perhaps that success has not been as great in Europe and the U.S. What do you think that is?
Well, actually, what I think there with the PSP is the fact that it's seen a real big resurgence in the Japanese market. But the PSP has always been doing some great numbers for us in both the European market and the U.S. market. So it's just that the Japanese market has finally caught up, I think. So it seems like the Japanese market is now seen as huge PSP market, which is great. But I think we've always had a huge market in the U.S. and also in the European markets as well.
And you're bringing Resistance to PSP, which is a major thing. And I think that before E3, there was like a clean slate with PSP titles, and I was like, maybe they will announce a PSP 2 or something because they don't have that many games. But now you have a few big games coming up, like Loco Roco 2 and Patapon 2.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that with the resurgence of the PSP, just generally worldwide, after we launched the Slim and Light version last September, not only within first party but also with the third parties as well, I think we're seeing a lot of excitement in that platform. So expect to see a lot of good games coming out on the PSP as well.
You're bringing the 80 gig version now, both in US and in Europe. But you're choosing not to lower the price that much. Is that something you see that the console prices are going to stay around the same level for a while longer?
I think that the consumers have really given the sell-through rates that we're seeing on the PS3 in the markets around the world, that the consumers have really resonated, or the pricing point that we have has resonated with the consumers. So what we wanted to do is make sure that we continue to add to the value proposition, and that's why we decided to introduce the 80 gig version in the time frame at E3.
So do you think that maybe there will be bundles instead of a lower price, or how do you see it?
Well, in the European market, we're planning to do a variety of different bundles with the PlayStation 3 in different markets, and that's something that the European market consumers really respond to. It's something that we have a heavy emphasis on the European market. U.S. market and the Japanese market is somewhat different, so we have different strategies for different markets.
I would like to thank you very much for your time. I know you're a busy man,
Thank you very much.
Get back to your friends.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. Thanks.